Maybe not. What's up, guys? I'm Okkotsu here, and here we're going to do a quick little breakdown and discussion on whether or not Yuta Okkotsu should have lived. Yeah, I say should have lived. And not should have he really, lived or fallen. Because I don't think he's fallen. I think the end of 268 kind of confirms he's alive. And I got mixed thoughts about that, but I feel like they aren't too complicated, so let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. Heading me. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do it to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, Yuta's basically alive. Considering they're literally talking to him, and the end of chapter 268 is written more in a joking manner. Notably, the faces of Kusakabe and Miwa and Maki, I mean, they look somewhat serious, but with the sweat drops, with the joke made by Megami, all that, I don't know, it feels so blasé. And oh, we gotta wrap up this plot point, because we kind of did talk about Goda after he collapsed a few chapters back. And it allows us to know that Yuta is basically fine. Now, he may be in some sort of twisted state. Personally, I theorize that the person who says, "Yuta, you jerk," is Rika at the end of the chapter, and she's very specifically safeguarding the original Yuta's body, as Goda body Yuta is explaining to Rika, "Hey, Rika-chan, I need to get my original body back. We kind of need that in order to perform an operation." And he's going to be mad. "No, I'm not going to give you your body back, Yuta, because you're not even really Yuta, because you're a jerk, Yuta. How could you leave your own body for another man's body? That's a little sussy." Regardless, I can see that. And it because you know what? I like Yuta enough that I don't want him to go. But at the same time, now looking back, retroactively, now that the Shinjuku Showdown's over, I'm really looking at Broski's body count. Where before I wasn't, because I was kind of more confident Yuta was gone, or at least gonna be gone, with 268 basically confirming his safety, I'm looking at Big Kuna, and I'm like, in terms of heft, I'm talking heft. It was this thick. I would need a bucket in terms of how thick that narrative heft to some of these executions were. He's 1 for 4 in my eyes. And still, 4 characters for a main villain is kind of crazy. I'm trying to think, how many characters did Mamoru Uchiha really take out? How many characters did Sosuke Aizen really take out? How many characters did Kaido really take out? I'm thinking, and I'm comparing it. But it's impressive in that sense. Especially since I haven't read One Piece, so I don't actually know how many characters Kaido took out. But I don't want to spoil One Piece, which is weird. I haven't read One Piece, so I don't want to spoil One Piece. But still, with that being the case, I'm sitting here and I'm looking okay, so we got the original in Kashimo. Then we had Hikaru. Well, no, we had the original in Gojo. We're going to talk about Gojo in a bit. But we had the original in Gojo. Then we had Kashimo. Then we had Higuruma. Then we had Choso. And 4 is good, right? But when I'm looking at those 4 characters weight-wise, while the fandom loves Choso and the fandom loves Higuruma, narrative weight-wise and power-wise, who are they? Who are you, Buckaroo? And that's a fandom exclusive thing. The narrative itself gives Kashimo so little weight that he gets 2-chaptered. At least he got, unlike some people, at least we got to see his fight. But he gets 2-chaptered. He adds well to Sukuna's character and narrative, but he gets 2-chaptered. And Higuruma gets a little fanfare that after his fall in 240, he doesn't even get mentioned again. When Yuji's thinking of all the people who influenced them and helped with his character development, he doesn't even think of Higuruma. So, that's how little he mattered. And hey, Choso was neat, but once again, that's more of a fandom thing. I never really got it. And narrative weight-wise, he was never really that much. And with all that being the case, if we could just add one more juicy, pre-established body, if I had to pick, let me be honest with you. If I had to pick, it'd be Megami. I would have signed Megami in a heartbeat. But if I have to keep the main trio, mainly to keep in line with that interview that Gege did, I forget how long ago, where they mentioned either 1 would die and 3 would live, or 3 would die and 1 would live. If I have to keep these 3 alive, and Gojo stays gone permanently, if I have to pick out of any of the major characters and just change one thing, tweak one thing, yeah, I'll just get rid of Yuta. Mainly because, I feel like Yuta as a character hasn't changed. Is that bold? Nah, that's bold and brash. He's changed a bit. But I think ultimately, not just his original execution all the way back in 251 was cold, crazy, and callous, and would have added a really hefty, real proper body on Sukuna's number. You know, the previous main character of your previous series is a legendary body to add to your final villain. But also, with his kind of not lackluster conclusion, but this is it. Sure, he maintains his domain pieces afterwards, but this is how Yuta goes out. And the Shinjuku Showdown ends. And it's not like Yuta didn't do anything. That's the thing, right? It goes to the Gojo effect, right? Where Gojo not only had the popularity in narrative, the importance in narrative, the power in narrative, but also he did a lot. The cast and crew wouldn't have won without Gojo weakening Sukuna as much as he did. And the same way, the cast and crew wouldn't have won without Yuta weakening Sukuna as much as he did. So I think him falling in the footsteps or following in the footsteps of his master, it would have been a crazy twist, and it definitely would have some. That's the silly thing, though. The reason I'm hesitant, and the reason why, in the end, despite my hesitations, I'm fine with Yuta living for the most part. And overall, I'd say like I'm more 80-20 than I am like 50-50 in favor for Yuta. It's because of the narrative. All right? Because let's look at all those who perished. All four who I mentioned. Gojo, he's not that old. I think he's 29 by the time of the Shinjuku Showdown, but he is the adult of the previous generation. So of course he has to go, because that's what JJK is all about. The past setting up for the future. Higuruma Hiromi, who is he? Well, technically, he's a baby sorcerer. He's an older gentleman. Part of the previous generation, part of a system of corruption, and thusly he represents a major part of the story's corruption, and thusly he kind of needs to go, alongside Sukuna. Hashimo Hajime, literally an old man. 400 years past, old man. He may look young, but old man. He's a representation of a previous system, so he's got to go. Choso, a lingering aspect of a previous system, so he has to go. Like, legitimately, all of them are fine to perish by Sukuna's hands, because the old taking out the old in one way or another, but Yuta Okkotsu ultimately is still part of the future. Sure, he was the prequel series main character, but since he's still part of the future, the thematic overarching narrative of JJK and the ideological battle that Sukuna and Gojo were having, to where it was the idea of which of the strongest ideas for the future is right, a future where it's entirely ruled and governed by the strongest and their own desires and wills, versus a future where the strongest raises up those who will come next to be the next strongest. I think thematically, Yuta living makes sense. Even if I want to add another body count, I think keeping the thematic consistency of the narrative and adding to Gojo's win over Sukuna by letting Yuta live makes more sense and is more overall satisfying. Even if me personally, I would have liked Yuta being gone on a personal level. But thinking about it further, I think ultimately the thematic weight matters more versus my own like, yes, raise the body count. Raise it as high as you can, my friend. Like, that's it. It's just the devious part of me that likes rubbing his fingers together and being like, yes, let's get dark and devious. It's kind of like Megami being safe and fine. Like, yeah, it's just the wrong part of me. It's the deep, dark part of me that was, like, mentally conditioned by JJK. Nothing else. Thematically, it makes sense that Megami's fine. Thematically, it makes sense that Yuta's fine. And thusly, I'm fine with both of them living. But, of course, that's what I think. Please what you guys think in the comment section down below. Did you want Yuta to get... Or do you now agree with me, or previously agreed to the idea that, thematically, it makes more sense for Yuta to live, considering he is still part of the future generation, despite how many ties he has to the past? Please let me know all that and more in the comment section down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave hollow brain. Because, you know, ain't nothing up in there. But leave hollow brain in the comment section down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Those perks include the live reactions to the last 3 chapters of JJK, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi in the description down below where you can drop 5 beans for a short video, 20 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dad the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members: Sarah, Greyhound, Eternal Flame, NMA, Real Rare, Red Wolf 4765, Paris Arnold, Astro, Brandon Payne, and G Prosper. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, Josh Brown, Igneal Lind, and A+A. And I'd like to give a big ol' thank you to our $7 members: Autumn Mornings Lazo, Fine, Zombie Hunter, and Austin Wimberly. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 members: Robbie Uchiha, Jay Warrior, and AZ Void. Then I'd like to give a big ol' thank you to our $10 patrons: Overlord Zero, Joaquin Munoz, and Idem Okami.
And I'd like to give the craziest, juiciest, most next-level, quadruple, sloppy, toppy, next-level superhuman in beyond this world kidney having
thank you to our $100 patron, or that guy with a pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.